Warning, the following program contains strong Black first opinion about mature and strong subject matter that affects Black America and the diaspora as a whole. Listen at your own risk, you sissy.
Grand Rising All, you are listening to the one and only Be One or None. Good morning from Africatown, Los Angeles.
Grand Rising, everyone.
What it do?
Grateful. So it's a
Yeah.
couple of us in here. I think everybody is kind of working. Hold on, I hear someone coming in. Uh-oh. I was getting ready to say Kathy B with family ain't coming in coming
Kenny gonna make it over here.
Hello.
Peace, peace,
Hey.
peace.
So we were just gonna kind of discuss this and then do another live, but we talking about Trump and the Supreme Court's decision where Trump is ending birthright citizenship, otherwise anchor baby citizenship, where a lot of these illegals and undocumented immigrants were going out the way of going through the system of paying their fair share to be legal and learning American language, everything. And they're basically, when you see the immigrants coming, they would come pregnant, or they would use these what is it, the exchange student way, or come visit, and they would come over here pregnant so that they can have their babies on American soil, and then they would anchor themselves. That's what they call the anchor babies, but have their babies here, and then use the 14th Amendment by saying that their baby is a citizen, and now the parents has to stay with their children because now you're anchored here with your children, and now your child that becomes a citizen and your parents are not citizens, now you're getting all types of benefits because you are now considered a U.S. citizen because the child is considered a U.S. citizen because you had this child on U.S. soil, and then that child goes into our neighborhoods and stuff, and they're able to get benefits, tuition, etc. This is what we call the anchor baby, but this is what Trump is trying to end, the slick way of getting around and getting citizenship without actually paying your due or going through the due process.
Yeah, that's crazy as hell, man. Yeah, that's it's diabolical, but it's smart if you're trying to become a citizen in the United States. I mean, but yeah, I'm glad that he
But
pushing it. Yeah,
yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
now I'm saying I'm glad he pushing it, and the thing I'm liking, he's saying that was supposed to be for Black Americans, slave descendants of slaves. And I'm shocked to see
Exactly.
that many. I'm shocked to see a lot of Black Americans, especially the Black Democrats, who not even like. Of course, they're not gonna say nothing because they know he's telling the truth. I'm like, why are y'all not writing for that? Like, that's crazy. No loyalty, man.
Exactly.
No
Because they
loyalty.
want them to be able to come in here. They come in here, they stay undocumented. They don't have social security numbers. They commit crimes in their own land. Like Trump was not lying. Most of these people are that's undocumented, come over here under what is it, when they're trying to run from danger, they come over here, but they are the danger because half of them are criminals, and they come over here and they get this, and the Democrats
It's
want them because,
asylum seekers.
yeah, asylum seekers.
Yeah.
And you looking for asylum from yourselves because half of them that's coming over here are the criminals. We got to see how the cartel plays into this and everything, because the cartel wants to push. And I was going to do a video. I had a different title earlier, but the cartel is pushing fentanyl in our neighborhoods. Now, if you ever known anybody that hustled or did, hustle drugs or marijuana, where you think Black people are getting this from? They're getting it from the people who smuggle it in. And now what they're doing is letting these people come in. They're coming in, they filling our communities with fentanyl. If you know anybody that have drug overdoses, They're filling our communities with fentanyl, but they want their people over here because the cartel wants to run America just like they're running their other countries. So it's more than just birthright citizenship that's supposed to only be for us. You know, we fought for this country, we fought for our rights, and for Democrats and other people to sit here and say that illegals have the same right on American soil. You knew that there were no illegals, there were no black and brown people coming over here to sign themselves up for slavery.
Facts, facts, facts. And they try to act like they going through the same thing we going through. Like you said, that's crazy. No, y'all ain't go through nothing like black people. Black people built up America. I know y'all tired of hearing that, tired of hearing us say that, but we did. You should, and I hate these black people that's up here co-signing that shit. Democrats, black Democrat, saying that we are
Hmm.
all immigrants. Talking about we all immigrants. Jasmine Crockett, I let my plane.
No, we're not all immigrants. If they want to call themselves immigrants, let them go ahead. But we're not all immigrants. You cannot go get. If we look at history, I was telling people, let's start with common sense. If you look at history, history taught us that white people thought that they could not leave their land because they thought at the end of the ocean they would fall off the face of the earth. That's one. Is that not a history fact? Then you look at science says black people were the first people on this planet. Then you look at when it was one where they claim one continent was Africa and then it broke apart. Okay, that means even if Africa, everybody keeps saying we all from Africa. Okay, but it broke apart. So that means everybody was on that one landmass and we broke apart. So that means people
Pangea,
from Africa,
Pangea, what it Pangea?
yeah, Pangea,
Yeah,
and it broke apart. That means half of us was over. If you want to say everybody from Africa, if we floated apart from each other. Okay, those are three indications that white people did not bring us here and giving them the credit that they populated North America with black people are stupid. It's stupid. It makes no sense. If they were scared to leave their own place, and if we had to go to, then we just jump over the part that they were from the Caucasus Mountains and that we had to teach them how to wash their asses, excuse me, how to bathe, how to use soap, and all that. So if we gonna leave that part out, how do we go from bathing them, teaching them? How do we ignore that we had advanced civilizations? Because people go to Africa, they want to separate Europe from Africa, but Europe is right there. If you're gonna separate Europe from Africa, then how do you know Europe is right in the middle of Africa? We were advanced. Oh, we had advanced civilizations. So if we had advanced civilizations, how do we give these people credit from going to get us and bringing us to a land that they knew nothing about no crops? It's already debunked that Christopher Columbus did not discover America. It's debunked that they didn't even make it here. It was already that we were doing the trading system. So that because we were coming to see our brothers and sisters, our cousins. We don't say all Jamaicans are just from Jamaica. Do we give white people credit for bringing black people to Jamaica? Do we give them credit for bringing black people to the Caribbeans? How do we
facts.
jump over those black people and then get to America and say that these Indians are the white looking Indians? It makes no sense. So to say that we all from Africa and we're all immigrants is a lie. We were already here. This is why the birthright citizenship is not going to affect us because they have nowhere to send us to. Me and Kathy was talking about nobody's great grandmother. We passed down quilts, blankets, recipes, history. Not one black family in America has anything written or anything left from them saying if anything happened, go back to Ghana because it wasn't called Ghana anyway. There's no black person in America that was a descendant of a slave that says that their family told them about the boat trip. There is, it makes no sense.
So to say that we are going to be sent back, they have nowhere else to send us because we are the original people. Because if they started trying to really dig in our history and tell us that we're going to go back, they're going to send us back to New York, North Carolina, the Florida, and then that means we take back over the land that they took. They're not going to go that far.
Yeah, that is a good point though. I don't think we ever talk about that. You're right. They no black person that don't know nothing about Africa. No shade to the our cousins, but we don't. I mean, our Evans ain't never been there. I mean, Africa is a continent, not a country. So that land is vast. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we don't even come on now. Like I say, isn't that wrong going to visit? No, that. But the thing, we don't have no ties there. Like, I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, civilization
Exactly.
started there. Yeah, civilization started
There is
there.
no
Yes,
ties.
yeah.
All our family knows is the field. And then when you go back in the history of America, you had freemen, Freed, and freedmen, Freed, the black people that were freed. And the people who were free, free already, that's because we were already walking around free. They had not captured us in this war and made us prisoners of war, which these prisoners of war, what do they do with black people in prison now? Make them work for corporations like Whole Foods, the states making license plates. They work these captured people that they call prisoners, they work them for free. When they get out of prison, they are freed. We are free people because we were already here. Now, do we? They can play DNA all they want. If we go back to Pangea, of course you're going to trace some DNA back to anywhere if we're going to talk about science. But to give them credit to be dumb at one point, so dumb that we had to teach them how to bathe, not to sleep with your animals, to take your. Is this not history? And then to turn around and say that these dumb people built boats, and then all of a sudden it came to a land we already debunked that Christopher Columbus never made it here. Darwin's, if we go back, why don't they talk about Darwin's theory? Darwin talked about how he came around, and every one of these white explorers described how they seen black people, indigo, where they got Indians from. So how can we give them credit for bringing us to a place that they didn't know about to go, okay, oh, you know what? We need them to pick this plant right here that's called cotton, even though we don't know what cotton does. We don't know nothing about that. That's because they was our friends. They were following us. They knew where to go because we had already showed them. And when they came here, they did what they do now in this present day. They go to war. They could not have came from Europe and say, I'm gonna go from Europe where I'm scared of if I'm gonna fall off the earth, and now I'm gonna go to a place that I've never been, and I'm gonna capture people who are stronger than me, smarter than me, and I'm going to get there and build boats, and we're gonna go find a place to take these people and make them work for free. It makes no damn sense. And they play with our intelligence, and we should be insulted. They cannot send black people back while black people are talking about, oh, we need to care about the birthright citizenship for the immigrants because it could be us next. Us next for what? Us next to find out that we were the original people here?
Triple facts. And the girl like Jasmine Crockett, we ain't falling for it. She's sitting up there, you know, like I said, they cape for the Democrats. That's what they do. They cape for the illegal immigrants because they know that's pretty much their bread and butter. They know once they get all them gone, they done. I'm saying, let them white.
Yes. So, and then I want to play something. And then these immigrants, everybody wants black people to fight. Why? Because everybody knows black people fought for the right to be human. We fought for that birthright citizenship. And then not only did they come over in our communities, we see it and we keep agreeing with them. The Democrats use them to wipe out our communities, to take our jobs, like Trump said the first time. I don't agree with everything Trump does, but we need to use damn common sense. If we were the construction workers, we were the slaves, that means we did every job. We were the farmers. We don't have farmland anymore. They do. We were the construction workers. We didn't don't have construction jobs and contracts no more. They do. Remember when they were burning down Black Wall Street and all these prosperous black towns? How did the black towns get money? Because we were contractors. We
Facts.
don't have our liquor store. We don't have our gas stations anymore because they burned down our towns and brought in immigrants and placed us and displaced us into communities that don't like us. They bring in the immigrants. They are doing the. We were the maids. We the ones that taught everybody else how to bathe and clean their houses, and now all of a sudden we're looked upon as the dirty ones. And now all of a sudden, little Mary, and Jose are the cleaners. It makes no sense. They came over here. They take our jobs. We just did a live the other day when we talk about how they came in, and now LA is most 50% Latino and Asian. They were not the slaves. It'd be different if they were the slaves. But we fought for this birthright citizenship, and when we fought for everything, the U.S. put in the Constitution of the 14th Amendment that every because there were no immigrants then. Nobody was coming on a boat to be a U.S. citizen because if you were black or brown, you were caught up in this system. So we fought for the civil rights and we got gypped. We fought for that birthright citizenship. There were no Jose and Guadalupe and all them. They were not here in America standing next to us when that birthright citizenship bill was written for us. So for us to be black and always trying to give away our opportunities is diabolical because the Democrats have taught us and they have taught us to believe in their Bible, and we always thinking, what would Jesus do? And we keep giving away everything that makes us human. That was the most thing that they gave us in the Constitution was to make us human on the 14th Amendment. The birthright citizenship was because we were not, remember, black people, we were not even allowed to marry. Do y'all remember that?
Yep. Yep. Facts.
We were not allowed to marry or anything. So to sit up here and say that it was meant for immigrants, nobody was thinking about an immigrant. That's when the Democrats wasn't even,
Democrats did not even exist when the birthright citizenship came in. The
She's
Democrats,
cooking.
so the Democrats came up, made a third party so that they can get back slavery. Because remember, they were mad with Abraham Lincoln for emancipating us. So there was nobody back then thought about we're gonna bring in immigrants and let them anchor their children here or have children on here and then they become citizens. No, because they had to give us humanity. We were deprived human rights and we are still deprived human rights. We had our leaders fighting for civil rights, and that's why everybody from the LBGT and the immigrants piggybacked on our back.
Yep. And Dr. Clark Anderson said, he said we should have been fighting for human rights, not no civil rights.
Exactly. So to sit up here and say that it was meant for immigrants, no, it was meant for black. When you keep saying immigrants, that's the play in the story that this land doesn't belong to us. We are not prisoners of war, and that we were just brought here and stuff like that. And then we are all immigrants. That's a lie. We were the slaves. We were considered property. It was in the Constitution that we were three-fourths human. How come they don't bring up all that other stuff? These immigrants ain't shed a sweat or tear or a drop of blood to come over here and be disrespectful and think that they are continually supposed to get benefits that belong to us. And we are dumb as hell as a black community to allow it and to be fighting for it. I want to play something for you to show you how our people are so ignorant and blinded by the Democrats and religion. It's okay to believe in God, but God said, don't be stupid. Our people would sit back and let the police unalive us and sit back and film stuff, sit back and watch the police choke us, unalive us, and do everything and won't say a thing. But let me show you what our black community decided they wanted to fight for. Let me get him! Let me get him!
No, no, bro. Hell no. Hell no.
Oh, look at him! Let me get him! Let me get him!
You out there fighting. They play
That's
us
what
with the
that was
skin.
about. Haitians. Oh.
They play us with the skin color, but the Haitians, you're immigrant. If you came over here legally, and they want us, and I feel sorry, but Haitians are not the only ones being shipped out. It's the immigrants, it's the Hispanic, it's the Asian, it's all of them. But yet they will sit back and watch an American citizen be unalived by the police, won't take a risk, watch these white people shoot and kill unalive us and everything. But yet now you ready to fight the police because they can be
Facts.
looking. Now y'all ready to fight the police because they coming in there getting an immigrant. But
Exactly.
where's the
Not all fighting.
yeah, where's the immigrants at when we telling them that they doing us wrong when the police on where were they at when Trayvon was?
They mind their own business.
Show me the immigrant page that goes back and forth. Show me the immigrant page that tells us that should leave that I mean show me an immigrant page that says how the police is doing the black people who fought and died and bled for them to be able to come over here in America. Show me their thankfulness.
Won't happen.
You ain't gonna see that.
Yeah,
So
it's
this
just a
birth
truth.
go ahead.
I'm saying it's just a reality. I mean, it's a truth. It's the truth, sort of. I mean, it's a hard reality. Nobody don't want to accept. And like I said, the black Democrats can't believe that a lot of black people are on board with this. What Trump trying to do. And I'm looking at Chicago go red. They building up of that Chicago.
Yeah.
They pushing it heavy. So yeah, I mean,
Chicago.
yeah, Chicago red. Yeah, Chicago go red. Yeah. And you got some more groups too that's going red. We're not telling everybody
Yeah.
to go to the side. We just saying that black people fed up, and it's the only thing that is gonna help us get move closer to reparation or something like that. So be
Thank
yeah.
you. They have spent we watched them spin our reparations in our face and nobody is saying nothing. You don't see immigrants saying, okay, we got jobs, we got this, and black people are owed reparations. They're getting benefits, loans, because they don't have any credit. They destroyed black people credit before we're born. They was doing
Exactly.
background checks because they keep us in a police state where anything we do goes on our record. And then when we got past being educated, then they started saying, well, your credit needs to be good to get a job. I remember one time after I graduated college, I was trying to get a job at a hospital for a position within my field, and they changed the criteria, and I had to have good credit, A1 credit, in order to get the position. And I was like, well, if I'm trying to get a job and I just got out of college, how is my credit going to be A1 to get a job? Where were the
Exactly.
immigrants?
Politics. That's what it is. Yeah, it's bullshit. Because I gotta tell everybody, the people that make the rules and laws don't follow them, except the average person. They follow that shit because they know the people that create these laws. They know this all BS. They know that it's they don't follow. They know it's all bullshit. So yeah. So like I said, now going back to the Trump now. Like I say, I tell everybody, I just did a video. What you gonna do when he's gone? He got 3.5 years left, whatever, like less than 3 years. Well, 3 years, and yeah, when he gonna do what he gonna do, and I guarantee they're gonna try their best. The Democrats gonna try their best if they get elected. They try to reverse this whole damn thing. See, I'm already looking toward the future. I already know what they thinking about. Like, well, we got to do something. Primaries coming up too, so they're like, we got to do something because we can't let all these immigrants go. Illegal immigrants, because you got illegal immigrants that want them out of here too. See, a lot of people don't talk about this. You got a lot of you got a lot of legal immigrants that want the illegal immigrants out of here. Yeah, somebody say something. Can you hear me? Oh,
I hear
y'all hear
you.
me, right?
Go
Okay,
ahead.
cool. But yeah, I'm saying you got illegal immigrants that want you got legal immigrants that want the legal immigrants out of here. So it ain't just the ones, it's just American citizens. But yeah, because you got that one with Trump
That's
talking
because the
about.
illegal
Yeah,
immigrants are trying to get away from what the illegal immigrants, the legal ones, left their country. Why? Because the country governments are usually corrupt, ran by criminals. That's from Haiti. That's from
that's from Mexico with the cartel, and they're trying to get away from it. They paid their dues. They had to study just like we need to get a job for college. Well, the immigrant college is called you got to take a test and learn about America.
Yeah.
And what the Democrats don't fight for is for them to learn about slavery. But yet you got to take a test, learn about America. You can't just come up and say you want to be an American citizen. You got to learn some English because we shouldn't have to struggle to understand you and you're in our country. But when we go to their country, do you see any English signs? Do you see them going out their way to make it
Oh,
comfortable for you to speak English?
hell no. Oh,
Nine
and
times
it,
out of ten, you looked upon as a troublemaker. But these immigrants that are here legally, they trying to run away from crime to a better life. They had to do their college. It's just like us when black people, how we feel. We went to college, we do everything, and somebody get a job over you because they know somebody. It's not fair to the legal immigrants.
exactly. And then I know it's a short line. Look, I want to say this. And for all y'all illegal immigrants who don't like America, why the hell y'all up here holding y'all flag? Y'all got y'all flags up. You should be having an American flag up if you want to stay in the country. That makes no sense
They
to me.
want to
Y'all,
they want to
they,
stay here because they don't care about the country. They want our money, and that's it.
facts,
They want to
facts.
build their country because in another 10 or 20 years, if we keep allowing this, there would be no more America. They're going to be with bricks. They're going to be building up. They already building factories. We buy everything from them. They got all the manufacturing companies because our greedy white people over here took everything over there to them. And when we turn around, black people are going to be predominantly in prisons, back to slavery. That's the only thing we got to worry about. And they're going to be in their country, living it up with their farmlands and their factories. And we are going to be sitting here without an America working each day like they have black people do. We work each day and they benefit from it.
All facts. And they keep talking about black people don't want to work. We don't want to do them jobs. Hell, we ain't gonna do no job paying $10 an hour, but we want them contracting jobs, the farm jobs, all that, them type of jobs. We want those
We
back and
want
shit,
our land back.
and the
We
land
can
back.
do farming. If they learn history, they'll know that black people had over 20 million acres of farm. What happened to it?
Exactly.
The same people who about to lose their farm took it.
Thank you. They gave us fake seeds. Look at the lawsuits. They gave us fake seeds. They used strong arming and stole property. They unalive black people because we aren't considered humans and nobody cared. They stole land. There's so many ways that they don't laws that they don't came up with. What is it? HOAs and stuff like that. And eminent domain. It's not that we don't want to work and do the jobs. We want benefits and we want to be able to work and have a fair pay. They make these
Exactly.
immigrants feel like we ain't did nothing. It's a slap in our face and our grandparents' faces for these immigrants to come over here and then let these white people trick them to believe we are lazy when we built this motherfucker.
Facts. And before we get out, I want to say too, a lot of people don't know that when Sherman, when he burned Atlanta down, Savannah, Georgia, ended up being the capital of Georgia.
Excuse me.
And bless you. And on the coast of Georgia, a lot of black people had got reparations for a hot minute after they burned Atlanta down. But when the dust cleared, when the smoke cleared, as they say, the white people went back down there to the land back from black people who had the land. You got Sapelo Island still there with the Geechees and stuff, but the rest of that coastal island, all those acres out there on the coast of Georgia, black people had got after the Civil War, but the white people went back and snatched it back up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Just
we
like
got to
Black
put that
Wall
right now.
Street is here, Black Wall Street is here right before our eyes. They burned down Black Wall Street because they said a young boy winked at a white woman in the elevator. They burned it down. They never paid none of the black people. The names are on the wall. All the businesses and stuff isn't that bad. All the businesses and stuff. and they never gave them anything. And yet the white people are somehow able to go over there and buy it. They claim only 300 people died. I went to Black Wall Street myself, and the people that's 100 years old when they was a little child when it burned down was still fighting to get their to get reparations or to get some type of money from a lawsuit from the government. Nothing. And then yet they got waffle houses, and when you walk down the block, it's all white businesses.
Of
Go to Black
course.
Wall Street, it's right there. Tulsa,
Yep.
Oklahoma. Go there. You can see it for your damn self. How do they
Gentrified.
do it when you burn down everybody else? And gentrification is enough. Yes, gentrification is another way of stealing black land and property. And then they tell us we don't want to work when we built this. We built cities. We done built everything. Then they took it away, the opportunity. Those were our grandparents that they burned out of them towns. Over 150 of them.
Yep. And then asked for no help when we did it. We just got the hell up out of slavery and went start building. Yeah.
Exactly. Why? Because some of us were already here and we were already free. Ain't no way a bunch of slaves got free and we just walked away. They call it America, the United States of America. But is anybody taught the first president of America was a black man that white people elected? Did anybody teach that the government first set up was predominantly black? We set up the Treasury Department and everything. Then they got rid of us and changed everything and wiped the history out.
Yep, they whitewashed everything.
That's why I tell black people,
Then
read the book. Yeah, read the because y'all read the book, The Origin of the Black Elites. Black people read that book. It brings a lot of that down too.
yeah, so to set up here and say that they are old birthright citizenship, nobody was thinking about immigrants coming over here because there was no reason to have you over here because black people were over here working. So I don't feel sorry. And like I said, other immigrants did what they had to do to get over here. So y'all need to do what you have to do to get over here and pay your money, pay your fair share. You didn't work no blood, sweat, none of their ancestors bled on this land. They're leaving their land. We didn't leave our land and go somewhere else. We sat here, we fought and bled, were lynched and everything. And we lived in torment and we still live in torment. Of crosses was
Exactly.
burned in our yards. I mean, everything that can be thought of happened to us. And the only people that the world is taught to feel sorry about is the Jews.
They're the main
Exactly.
characters plotting all the stuff.
And then we turn around, they take our music, they take our culture, they take our styles, we can't, like I said, go into grocery stores. There's more immigrant labels in a grocery store than nothing for black people. Nothing that we manufacture. So no, I don't feel sorry for them. Birthright citizenship was for what they considered descendants of slaves because we were not considered human and we were only considered property. And then we fought and bled on this soil to get that. And no immigrant need to come over here and take that and then just like they're taking our benefits.
I bet some of them white people mad as hell when Trump be saying that. He said it a couple of times. Shouldn't a slave, shouldn't a slave. I mean, he said it just
I
dead and
mean, there
clear.
was no if immigrants were slaves, then where was Luke? Where was Jose at? And Jesus and Marie and all them? Where were they lynched at? Where did they suffer at in America to be an immigrant? That was our grandparents in the field picking cotton, not them. It
They
was
were
our
nowhere
grandparents.
to be found.
Thank you. The sugar cane. It was, and we keep saying cotton. It was cotton. It was all the farming. And then to say that these immigrants are only going to do jobs, like I said in the other live, it's machines that do it now. Why? Because black people invented machinery so that we can make our job easy. And we
Facts.
don't own nan one of these machine companies. So
Truth
I'm with
hurts.
Trump. I'm with Trump. When you're right, you're right, and when you're wrong, you're wrong. That's all I have to
Nah,
say on this live. We can touch on it again, but we can really dive into what the
yeah,
Supreme Court really passed.
exactly. Yeah, because I want to. He's gonna stay. He's gonna piss a lot of people off. But my thing is, any black born American is a fool that don't go with this bill. They hurt their own interests. Like you voted your best interest, and this is right now in our best interest. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see why you would even consider this being a wrong or him being hateful. He's not. He up here telling you this is for the descendants of slaves. He said like 3 or 4 times the other day. Yeah, and who the descendants of slaves? We are.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So black people, we need to start worrying about our own. When we get ourselves together, then we can take care of
Exactly.
it. We tell everybody that even the normal person, black or white, whether you're in a relationship or not, I mean, black or white or Chinese, when you're in a relationship, when you with your, what we tell the person that is doing, I mean, that's trying to get themselves together, you got to get yourself together before you could be with anybody else.
Exactly.
You got to get yourself
Okay,
together
Queen.
before you can help anyone
Speaking
else.
speaking of that, so because of those, and I said it, I don't know if everybody knows that they were taking dead people's social security, giving it to the immigrants, and they were getting paid and not the
Tell them.
widows and the people that deserve, the descendants, getting that money. So
Wow, I
that's
didn't know that.
another form that we got.
Yes,
So they paid out a
That's
lump
crazy.
sum, and now every month we're getting money. And I know several black people that's getting paid
exactly.
about the social security of our dead relatives.
And she knows it, and I know it. We know personal people that have been fighting for their own dead relatives' social security number, like spouses. And then soon as Doge came
Exactly.
in, they started getting back pay and their checks back. And nobody is saying nothing because the government is full of shit. The news
Wow.
outlets are full of
They
shit,
were
and they're not
robbing us.
telling it.
Yep. And if
Black
your
people, if
parents
you
Yeah.
out there and
work,
you just started receiving your Social Security benefits, and all of a sudden out the blue, that's because Doge came in. Everything that these white people ain't doing is perfect, but there a lot of them they not lying about a lot of stuff. Only a thief know a thief.
We need to do a
right.
live on that one. We need to do a live on that because I didn't even know that was going down. God
Yeah,
damn it.
and then
I'm
if,
30.
if your parents passed and they work, you need to check into it because if they be
Yes,
money out there, I
because
don't
people
know.
keep
My
forgetting
mom
that
just had
Social
a drop. She
Security.
had a drop into her bank account. She didn't know anything. She didn't know where they said they told her where the money was coming from, but it just appeared one day in her bank account.
And exactly,
Mm.
Queen, and how long your father had passed when your mom was waiting on that money because she was going
Five
through financial
years.
struggle? 5
5 years.
years.
She passed it the end of July, August 1st. She was cut off. She called and talked to them. They said, no, there's no more. You're not eligible or whatever. But they took that money and they was giving it to those people.
My father, when I was young, they told me I couldn't receive my
That's
father's
crazy.
retirement. This is, see, people don't understand, and I still don't really understand it. Retirement and Social Security somehow runs together. So they're stealing people's retirement through Social Security. So if your
Damn.
parents or somebody worked, if a person worked at a job a long time ago, there is some retirement out there.
Wow. That's crazy.
But they
And
don't
I
that's
wonder.
teach us
thousands
this.
of dollars. It's not just hundreds, it's thousands of dollars. So my dad passed 5 years ago. So that was 5 years worth of pay that they were holding. They didn't care if my mom lost her house or anything. They were
Hmm.
taking that money and giving it away. So that's one thing
Wow.
that did come about to help black people. I don't know if it's all black people, but in my eyes, I think it was,
Because
so
why?
now
We
they're
are the
getting that
easy
money.
targets. We are the easy targets because we don't understand
Exactly.
how the system works. They play us. So it's
Exactly.
time for black people. What we need to do during this Trump era is learn and learn and learn some more. Ask questions, and ask questions some more because they play us and think, well, I don't get Social Security because Social Security is only for dependents when they are up to 18 years old. Well, if your family worked, you better start looking in the comp controller's office and you better start going back to the looking into your parents' jobs and finding
Exactly.
that company that ran the retirement.
Because they
Because a
took it
lot
out of
of
the
us,
check. I want mine, and if anything happens to me before I get it, I want my kids to get it or husband.
So it's a lot that we need to look into as black people because we just go with it and think everything, oh, that's just the way it is. But they have been when they've been telling us Social Security is going to dry up, but don't you work every day and pay taxes? They make us think that we
Taking it
don't pay
out.
taxes because we're not paying thousands of dollars. The rich don't pay taxes. Every time you go to work, look at your paycheck. Now imagine it's 13 million of us. And if your paycheck got $10 taken out in one pay period and it's 13 million, that how much do you think that is with over 100 million people?
Mm,
You
wow.
paying taxes. It's just like if you
Yeah.
Yeah.
all y'all give we talk about it on a small scale. If all y'all sent me $100 a month, it's up to me to allocate where that money is going to be, what I'm gonna do with it. The government is taking our tax money. The state is taking theirs. So and the city is taking theirs when you go to the store and oh that's taxes. We just think it's normal. Oh, that's taxes for the car. Oh, it's taxes
Exactly.
when we buy grocery. Oh, it's taxes when you buy something out of Walmart.
Everything.
And then it's taxes when they take it out your check for the state. Oh, and then it's federal taxes. Oh, and then there's social security tax. You're
That's good
paying,
on the
they're
FICA.
taking our money. And this is why white people had the Boston Tea Party. Why? No taxation without representation. And that's what black people need to be yelling because we're not being represented in this country.
Exactly. You know how I
But
feel.
they're
Somebody trying to
taking
got
our,
me
we paying taxes like everybody else. And the only people being represented is the immigrants and the Jews.
hmm
They have, and
Yeah.
this was, and I'm gonna say this before we leave. How did these light-skinned Jews get over in Israel when you came from Germany, and what happened to them happened in Germany? But somehow Israel jumped over, and they're in Africa, or they call the Middle East, the edge of Africa, and now we're paying all this money because they're playing with our imagination. When they give you the book and they put Israel, the Jews, and all that together, but the Jews, what the things that the bad things that happened to them happened in Germany. So why is Israel not in Germany?
Exactly. Ain't that some shit? Nobody never
We got
questioned
to start
nobody.
thinking.
Nobody never questioned the authority. See, people always just go along to get along, and yeah, it's a lot of stuff you can question. Yeah,
And then and where does that come from? The Bible. They tell you when we were growing up, they don't question God. That's how they got us.
yeah,
Like God, if they keep killing us, unaliving us, and unaliving our babies and feeding our babies to crack alligators and doing this, doing that, why do we keep forgiving them? Why don't we fight back? But yet, God, I can join the military and go fight people I don't know for resources I don't know about, and unalive innocent people that don't know me and I don't know them. But yet, we praying for our troops.
exactly.
But
Politics and bullshit.
birthright citizenship was for the slaves. There's nothing
Yep.
else about it. You can't twist it and say it. And the black Democrats that sit up here trying to fight for it, that's because they get benefits, they getting kickbacks. Our Democrats are sitting on $1 million. They have and they make we all people that make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. They supposed to make close to 200,000 a year, and they sitting on $1 million with houses and stuff, and they're telling you
Mhm.
that immigrants need to be over here because they need help without helping you first. Let's stop
Yeah,
the bullshit. Let's start thinking. And I want you to start asking questions and sitting there thinking. Go to the root of everything.
exactly.
How did a people who did not have no education, did not know how to bathe, did not know how to build nothing, get on a boat, go to a place they never been, and then get on another boat and and take people that they didn't know to a place where they didn't know to farm and stuff. It makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense.
You were here and they have nowhere else to send you, and they're not going to do any birthright citizenship to the real FBAs. I like this because that's the only thing that we got right now. The real people that belong, the real black people, because if they do, the only place they can send you to is another place here in America. And
Yeah,
then you're going to
that's
find out the truth. So Trump is
exactly.
opening up a can of worms, and I'm happy because when people start tracing bumper DNA, start looking at the Library of Congress, the Church of Latter-day Saints that hold our stuff, the Vatican, because you're going to trace yourself right back here.
Yep.
Yep.
And I land my
Oh,
plane.
hey, that's how you end it right there. We're gonna do an update on this, y'all. Cause yeah, I didn't know about the Social Security thing. Yeah, I know about Social Security, but I didn't know they was doing
Most
it like
people
that.
don't. Yeah, most people
Wow,
don't. I'll try to
that's some
mention it to
diabolical.
people
That's
as
some
I
diabolical
can.
bullshit.
But
Yep.
he was saying it that they're redirecting, but they were making him look crazy when he was saying they're getting money was going out from dead people and
I
babies
heard
and
about that.
stuff.
That's crazy.
They gotta
Well,
fund it somehow. This is how the Democrats have been staying in power. It's time to take down the Democrats first because that's the number one enemy of the black community, and then we move on up. But black people
exactly.
need to get together because we're being distracted by playing on the empathy of our hearts to make it seem like we need to take care of people who don't give a damn about us, immigrants.
Yeah. Hashtag let Ron fall. We still doing that.
20th sounds good.
Yeah. Hashtag let Ron fall. We ain't forgot about that.
That let it fall. I've been saying it. Then I say it take a white man to bring down a white man.
Yeah. Oh
It would
yeah.
have been assassinated a black man doing what Trump doing.
Exactly. And he know he got 3 years. He don't give a shit.
And I'm here for
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
Okay, y'all, I'm gonna get up out of here. Peace.
It's a good one. Peace, y'all. See you on the next
Peace
one.
and
Good
hair
night.
grease, as they used to say.
Thanks for
Bye.
stopping
There you
by.
go.
We out.
Bye bye. Like and share.